Here is a company I'm really excited to talk about. It has done a near perfect example of SaaS marketing execution, and that company is Jarvis. It is an AI, artificial intelligence copywriting tool. Very excited, just started using it yesterday, and I think it has huge potential. Okay, so the first lesson that Jarvis teaches us is that sometimes you need to sell the product category more than your product. So if you have a SaaS product that's in a new category that people are not aware of, they're not familiar with it, they don't really know how they would use it, you need to sell the category and stop trying to sell your product, because there's no point in selling a product in a category that people don't understand. So you can see here that Jarvis is doing this with social media ads. They're saying this ad was written by an AI copywriter. It's doing the job that it's meant to do, which is sell the idea of an AI robot doing your copywriting, regardless of whether it's a Jarvis robot or some other robot. In other cases, what companies do in the SaaS space is they try too hard to sell their product and not enough time trying to sell the offer. So when you're trying to get somebody to actually sign up for the product, to sign up for your free trial, sign up for your demo, sign up for your sandbox experience, whatever it is, you need to sell the offer itself. And that's what Jarvis has done a good job of doing. And I think not enough SaaS companies do this. They don't experiment enough or get creative enough with what the offer is. They just go with the standard thing like a free trial or a free demo. Well, you can get more creative. So what Jarvis is doing here is they're saying you get 10,000 words written by AI free. So that's a very specific offer. It's a compelling offer, and it's one that worked on me as a marketer when I'm scrolling through my LinkedIn or my Facebook and I see that, oh, I get 10,000 words free instead of just the standard 7-day, 14-day trial. It's like, hey, I get to actually test this for 10,000 words to see if it's valuable for me. The other cool thing that they're doing is that often when they talk about it, they're saying it's claim your free trial. It's not just sign up for a free trial, sign up for an account. It's actually claiming something that maybe you could lose if you don't act now. So it's playing to that psychological idea of loss aversion or a fear of missing out on a scarce offer. So there's a lot of psychological tactics that they're being used here to get you to sign up for the free trial. And I think they do an excellent job of that. So the key lesson that I'm really excited about to demonstrate here with Jarvis is that you need to match the message to the stage of awareness. And I think this is where a lot of SaaS and business-to-business copywriting fails, is you're trying to send a message to people that they're not ready for. So for example, trying to push them into a free demo or a free trial when they don't even know what the category does or why they should care. So here are the 4 stages I like to use. First stage is people that aren't even aware they have a problem. Second stage is people that aren't aware of the category. So that's really where Jarvis stands out here, is they're selling the category of artificial intelligence for copywriting. Third stage is product unaware. So this is where you need to spend a lot of time educating people on what the use cases are for your product. And then there's offer unaware people. So people aren't aware that you have a 14-day free trial or 10,000 words free, something like that. So these are the stages that people go through in their levels of education, their levels of awareness. I think where a lot of SaaS companies fail is they kind of think of awareness as just brand awareness, but there's much more than brand awareness. There's 4 levels of detailed category awareness that people need to go through. The other thing, and if you've taken any of my courses, you'll realize that I highlight this a lot and not enough SaaS companies do it, is they're leveraging influencers. Now, I use influencers in a very broad sense. I think of influencers as presidents of associations. I think of them as brands. I think of them as companies. And I also think of them in the classical sense of influencers being people that are on YouTube, Instagram, etc. Now, you can see here that Jarvis isn't just relying on their own tone of voice to sell the product. They're relying on the voices of these highly influential people. So here we have this guy who's got a picture of a book next to him. He's an author, a speaker, a podcaster. He's talking about Jarvis and how great it is. I did a little search on YouTube. We got these other people selling Jarvis. So you don't need to rely on your brand, particularly if it's new. Rely on people that already have personal brands. Get them to talk about how great product, what a great product you have is. And those influencers, they have huge followings. You do not need to build the following from scratch. You can leverage the followings they already have. Okay, another key thing that SaaS companies often miss is they don't address objections up front. So this needs to be done on the marketing side. Don't wait for the salesperson to address the objections. Address them front and center so that people are going to overcome the resistance to signing up for your offer. So for example, here, one of the concerns is, well, maybe there's plagiarism if I'm using AI to do the copywriting. Bam, plagiarism free. It's going to be SEO friendly. There's all kinds of objections. They also give money back guarantees. Well, what if I try it and I don't like it and I just lost money? Well, don't worry. There's a 7-day money back guarantee. Okay, one of the most exciting things I like to see in business to business marketing is a strong emphasis on the brand. Now, this is more important when you really are ambitious and you want to dominate categories, which I believe Jarvis is really striving towards here. But you see, when people do business to business branding, they're super conservative. They go with things that really don't help differentiate your brand from other brands in your space. And that's really disappointing, because if people don't remember your brand and it just looks like everybody else in your category, you're really not building any long-term equity there. So this is a bit shocking, because the leader in the SaaS industry arguably is Salesforce, and you can see that even recently they just introduced a new mascot, this little fox character that's a marketer. They have Einstein, they have this little character in a costume. So you see this all the time with leading companies, but you see kind of in the small and mid space with SaaS companies, they're not bold enough to go with a mascot, because they think, oh, mascots are things that are on Kellogg's cornflakes and things for kids. It's not true. Business to business branding should be bold. It should be memorable. And one of the single easiest tactical ways to do that is just come up with a mascot. And that's what Jarvis does. They have this robot who has personality. And we know that with the laws of influence that likable brands are more persuasive. So here he is. He's like dancing, doing this Usain Bolt action. Here he is with a chef's hat on. So it adds an element of personality, of character, of memorability to your brand when you go with something like a mascot. And I love to see that with Jarvis. They're really aiming for the long term here, not just short-term gimmicky quick wins. Okay, another thing, and I'm not saying this is Jarvis's position, but this is just my experience going through their marketing funnel. I believe websites are overrated. I think there's way too much emphasis on conversion rates with your landing page, because I think most of the marketing doesn't happen on the website. And often the website is just what you go to in the end when you've already made a decision that, hey, I want to sign up for Jarvis. Really, what happened here was I heard about Jarvis through social media ads. They kept hammering me with messages, selling the category, selling the product, selling the offer. And then when a trigger event happened in my situation where I needed to write tons of copy really quickly, that's when I went to the website. But I had already made up my mind, okay? Word of mouth, offline conversations, advertising, this is often where most of the marketing happens. Websites just grossly overrated. Jarvis does a good job with their website. I think it's well branded. I think it's really cool, but wasn't critical to the marketing funnel, at least not for me as an individual. And this highlights another point that I want to bring up, which is that B2B marketers, they need to ramp up the frequency and reach. There's a little too much kind of spear phishing activities that are happening there, where they're just sending an ad to a very small targeted group of people, and then they want them to sign up for the demo or not, and then if nothing happens, they just kind of deem it a failure. But really, when we look at the data with what's working on the demand generation side, it's much more than that. It has to do with hitting people with the message over and over, and hitting a broad enough group that you're able to be efficient with your campaign and you're able to dominate markets. So in this case, I wasn't ready for Jarvis right away. I was like, AI for copywriting? That sounds stupid. But then I ran into a use case where I had tons of YouTube videos are uploaded. I need a bunch of copy. And then suddenly, hey, this little robot character's in my mind. Hey, they have the 10,000 word free trial. Okay, yeah, I'm going to sign up. And that never would have worked if they just hit me with one ad. So often what we're seeing with B2B companies is they need to hit people maybe 7 times in a campaign, or maybe if you're going for the long term, maybe it's once a week for an entire year, because that's how you change people's psychological understanding of your product. It's not going to happen by just a quick win in terms of signing up for a demo. There's influence takes time and it takes repetition, and that's how you get serious results to dominate markets. All right, the last thing here that I want to point out is you need to focus on use cases, or what you might call jobs to be done. So in this case, it's going to be things like writing emails, writing product descriptions for Amazon, which I think is one of the most powerful use cases for Jarvis, writing descriptions on your YouTube channel. And if I have one criticism of Jarvis and their marketing, I think they could really ramp up this aspect, which is focusing on those use cases or jobs to be done and hitting me with ads that demonstrate those specific uses.